Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept our humble obeisances. All glories to Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Samud Vaishnavi devotees. We thank you all for being here. Today is Monday, a new week, and by the grace of the Lord, we've gathered together again. We're sorry to announce to you there was a miscommunication with our scheduled speaker. So we doubt if she will be able to be here to speak today. And as such, we're going to play Srila Prabhupada tape. And it was not planned, but it's also very important that from time to time we hear from Jagat Guru himself. So this is an opportunity to hear from Srila Prabhupada himself. And thus we're going to play one important tape from His Divine Grace. And we encourage devotees to listen attentively. So at the end of the katha, we can all discuss what we heard from Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada. So we thank you for being here. Hare Krishna. So hold on.
The following is a class on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 3, Text number 20, given by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, recorded on June 16, 1972 in Los Angeles.
So, the impersonalist or the voidist, so where is their God? So there is no God for them, impersonal. So there is no activity. What they will hear and where they will chant. If you have no activity, then what shall I hear about it? If you are a dead stone, then what can I hear? Simply one, a big stone, that's all. So they have not this opportunity. These impersonalists, they are so unfortunate that they cannot hear. As soon as there is some activity of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they will say, it is Maya. That is called Mayavad. Huh? These are our activities, Maya. Therefore, God's activities are also Maya. The poor fund of knowledge. Or Askaya. Eh? Because I cannot do this, therefore God cannot do this. I am pleased in this way, therefore God can. And they are identical. Big sannyasi explain like that. When I am pleased, God is pleased. When I am dissatisfied, God is dissatisfied. So, roundabout way, their philosophy is to satisfy one's own sense gratification. That's all. The Mahabharata philosophy means, impersonalist means, the same material condition. The material condition means everyone is busy in sense gratification. And therefore they cannot understand. And when there is question of sense, just like we are dancing here, ball dance. So this is material Maya. Therefore Krishna's dance with the gopis, that is also Maya. This is Mayavad Siddhanta. The example can be given like this. Just like a patient, since his birth, he is sick and is lying in the hospital, cannot walk freely or cannot eat nice things, all bitter medicine, injection, all is suffering. So, if he is informed that after your cure, he shall be able to eat nice rasgulla, sandesh, he cannot believe it. He says that again eating, it is horrible. Because he has got bad experience of eating in sick condition. He thinks that eating in healthy condition is also the same. This is Mayavad. He has no experience what is healthy eating. Therefore, his bad experience of this disease condition, he wants to make it zero. He is thinking, then when this drinking of medicine and lying down will be zero, that will be my real healthy condition. This is their philosophy. Because bad experience, just like foolish person sometimes commit suicide, or they talk of suicide. The whole thing is zero. Wants to make the life zero. That is their happiness. Sunnavadi, because they have no experience that there is another life. Going back to home, back to Godhead. They are also, Krishna is eating, Krishna is dancing, Krishna is playing, Krishna is killing. Everything is there. They're all transcendental. Everything is there. Here only perverted reflection, false reflection only. There are 5 principal rasas. Shanta, Dasa, Sakha, Vatsalya, Madhurya. Here also the same rasas are here. Shanta Das. Just like I am sitting in this comfortable seat. This is Shanta, Shanta Rasa. The throne is giving me service in silence. This is called Shanta Rasa. Above this, somebody is giving me flower, sandalwood. This is called Dasa Rasa, serving. Better than. This is silent, there is work. The Shanta Rasa, Dasa Rasa, then again develop Sakha Rasa, more intimate, friendly. Then Vatsalya Rasa, more intimate, just like the parental affection. And more intimate, conjugal love. Just a young boy, young girl, try to love one another. So these rasas are there. Vrindavan. Krishna is in love with the gopis. He is playing with friends, cowards, boy. He is affectionate mother, Jasoda, feeding him. And there are servants also serving Krishna. And the trees, the water, the flowers, they are serving silently. Panchamukharas, 5 chief mellows, humors. The same thing is here also. Here also, Tishantaras, Sakharas, Dasaras is there, but that is mixed with material, cranks, just like sweet rice. Sweet rice is very nice, but if it is mixed with some grains of sand, just imagine how it is pleasant. So all the losses, Mayavadi philosopher, they have eaten sweet rice with cranks, with sand grains. Therefore, when you offering next sweet rice, oh, I have got taste. Don't supply it. I wish to live without eating. Zero. This is Mayavad philosophy. Try to understand. Impersonal. Making everything zero without any varieties. Nirbishesha sunnavadi. Nirbishesha means without any varieties. And sunnavadi means zero, voidist. So 2 kinds of Mayavadis. Generally headed by Shankar philosophy and Buddha philosophy. But our position is transcendental, above. Kurmis, they are on the material field. They're trying to enjoy on the material platform. Jnanis, they are trying to make it varietyless. And the Buddhists, they are trying to make it zero. Our philosophy is substance. This is the difference. Substance, reality. Vastava vastu, real reality, not the false thing. So, these people, the voidist and impersonalist, because they have no information of the Supreme Lord and his activities. Activities are there. Krishna is coming, showing his activity. But they will say it is Maya. Krishna is Maya. Although Krishna is practically showing them that it is not Maya. It is completely spiritual. But their dull brain cannot accommodate that Krishna is supreme, absolute truth. Therefore, the so-called scholars, when Krishna says, Manmana bhava mad bhakta madhyari mang namaskuru, Krishna says, just become my devotee, offer your obeisances unto me, always think of me, Manmana bhava mad bhakta. The scholar, the so-called scholar says, this is not to Krishna the person. It is to the unborn which is within him. The rascal does not know that Krishna has no within, without. Krishna is absolute, otherwise there is no meaning of absolute. When there is duality, how it can be absolute? That sense they haven't got. Still they are passing on as big scholar. Krishna has no such thing as within and without. We, living entities, ordinary living entities, I am soul, I am within this body. I am not this body. But Krishna is not like that. Krishna is both body and soul together. Krishna is everything. Krishna has no such difference as material and spiritual. For Krishna, everything is spiritual. Because material and spiritual, there are two energies only. But they are energy of Krishna. So for Krishna, there is no such distinction, material or spiritual. He can convert the material into spiritual and the spiritual into material because he is the original source of these two energies. He is the original source. The same example, just like an expert electrician, he can convert the heater into cooler and the cooler into heater, although they are two opposites. Because he knows how to utilize the electric energy. Similarly, Krishna says that these material elements, they are also my energy. And the spiritual energy, the Jiva Bhuta, they are also my energy. And the whole cosmic manifestation is combination of this material and spiritual energy. Therefore, but Krishna is absolute. He has nothing to do with material and spiritual. Another example can be given, just like government. Government has got many departments. The criminal department and the educational department. Educational department is giving knowledge to the citizens, and the criminal department is punishing, chastising the citizen. Now, to us, we find difference that in this department, government is so liberal, is giving education, people are becoming lauded, enjoying, and this department, so government is discriminating. This department is favorable and this department is not favorable. But to the government, it is not like that. To the government, both the departments are equal. Rather, sometimes the government has to spend more to the criminal department than to the educational department. Okay, they have to maintain both these departments to run on the state politically. They have to maintain both these. Similarly, because the individual soul has got little independence, which is part and parcel of Krishna. So, Krishna has full independence, and we being part and parcel of Krishna, we have got that independence quality. How it can be without? Then how can we part and parcel? The same example, just like a drop of ocean water, it is also salty. The same ingredient. Similarly, we have got little independence. Just like you have taken to Krishna consciousness out of your independence. There are many other American boys or girls, they are not taking. It is not obligatory. But the door is open for everyone. One who is intelligent is taking to it. That is due to independence. And some of our boys are also falling back after remaining few years. Again he falls back. Again in the hodgepodge. You see? Due to this misuse of independence. So, because God has given us little independence, therefore there must be two departments, material and spiritual. Otherwise there is nothing material, everything spiritual. Material is called Maya because those who are in poor fund of knowledge, they cannot see Krishna's spiritual energy. They are covered. Therefore, they are called Mayavadi. So the unfortunate Mayavadi cannot chant. They criticize this chanting is sentimentalism. Even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was criticized at Banaras when he was chanting. You know the story, Prakashananda Saraswati, a great Mayavadi sannyasi, he used to criticize that this sannyasi is sentimental. Sannyasi's business is reading Vedanta, but this sannyasi is chanting and dancing. So there was strong criticism. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was arranged to meet this Mayavadi sannyasi, and he talked on Vedanta and he defeated him, and the sannyasi along with his 60,000 disciples became his followers. So you should not be simply chanting and dancing. Along with you must know philosophy. There are so many Mayavadis. You have to defeat them. It is not that we are coward. We are Krishna's soldiers. So as soon as there is Mayavadi attack, we must immediately defeat him. That is wanted. Therefore, so many books have been written. Jnanancha jada hitukam Vasudevi Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Janayati Asu Vairagam jnanancha jad ahitukam. If you become pure devotee, this jnana, to defeat this Mayavad philosophy, will be revealed unto you. Krishna is within you. As soon as he is very sincere, he is doing seriously. He will give you all inter. Buddhi yogam dadanitam. So, but if you are in doubt whether Krishna is person or not, then Krishna will not give you intelligence. That is the difficulty. He does not talk with nonsense. He talks, but not with the nonsense. So when you are above the nonsensical platform by sincere service, then Krishna will talk it. From with it. Sit down properly. So the fact is that one who has not listened to the messages about the prophets and marvelous acts of the personality of God. Now they have got this Mayavadi, they have got their ears, but they cannot hear about the activities of the Lord. They reject, this is all Maya. Let us meditate. So there, these ear holes is compared with the snake holes. When you go walk on the paddy field, you will find so many holes. Have you got experience? And yeah, there are so many holes. Even on the beach, you will find so many holes. But especially in the agricultural field, there are holes because the paddy, the rats and mouse, they come to eat the paddies and they make hole to live there. And the snake take advantage. They enter the hole and eat the rat and mouse and live peacefully. So these holes, because there are snakes, nobody utilizes it, that hole. Similarly, when these ear holes are not receptive of the message of Krishna, it is like that. It is not being utilized properly. Similarly, you have got tongue, but you cannot chant Hare Krishna. Jivhasati darduri keva. It is just like the tongue of the frogs. The frogs, you have got experience during rainy season. They use their tongue very nicely. They sing. Yes. But what is the result of singing? The result of singing, in the darkness, the snakes, they can understand here is a frog, and it comes and take immediately eats. Similarly, we have got tongue, and we are lecturing all nonsense things, mental speculation, or singing in the dancing club, like that. So the result is that we are diminishing our duration of life in that way. The opportunity, the human form of life opportunity is being uselessly diminished. In the previous verse we have learned, Ayur harati vahi pungsam, uddannastancha jannaso. Because the sun's business is to take away your span of life. So say, as the frog is calling his death, the snake, please come here, I am here. Similarly, these persons were talking all nonsense without Krishna Katha. They are inviting the Jamaraj, please come soon. I am here. I am here. This is the position. So, explain.
Purport. Devotional service of the Lord is rendered by all limbs or parts of the body. It is the transcendental dynamic force of the spirit soul. Therefore, a devotee is engaged 100% in the service of the Lord. One can engage in devotional service when the senses of the body are purified in relation with the Lord, and one can render service to the Lord with the help of all senses. As such, the senses and the action of the senses are to be considered as impure or materialistic, as long as they are employed in sense gratification only.
The same ear holes. You hear some radio message, some materialistic news, some advertisement, so many things you can hear. And in the same ear holes, you can hear Hare Krishna. So, the hearing is there. But when you hear something for your sense gratification, that is material. And when you hear something about Krishna, that is spiritual. This is the difference between material and spiritual. The things are already there. You have got your ears, you have got your tongue, you have got your hand, you have got your legs, you have got your eyes. Everything is there. You can utilize it for material purpose and for spiritual purpose. How you can utilize? If you change your consciousness, then you can utilize. So if you change your consciousness to Krishna consciousness and utilize the senses for that purpose, sarvapadhi vinirmukta, tatparatena nirmalam. Just like you are American, I am Indian. We are not concerned about hearing about Indian and America. We have no other business, no or any business. I am not interested hearing about something Indian, and you are also not interested to hear something about America. No. This is called sarvopadhi vinirmukta. The designation is freed from the designation. Tatparatena nirmalam. When we simply hear about Krishna, then we are purified. Hearing, the machine is there. People are hearing, as American, the message of the president or some politics. They're very much interested. What my country is advancing, how they're killing in Vietnam, how they're doing this, that. The whole big lump newspaper, you see, for hearing. For hearing. So, when one is interested with this big lumpy newspaper, or American interest, or Indian interest, or German interest, everyone has demarcated. This is Germany, this is America, this is... Everything belongs to God. And these rascals, they have demarcated. This is German. This is... Ishavasmidam, Krishna says, and Bhoktaram Jagdusam Sarvalokumaisram. Sarvalokumaisram, he is the proprietor of all the planets. And in this teeny planet, we have met, this is America. This is German. This is Japanese. And I come as American, live for, say, 50 years or 100 years, and then kicked out. And I become absorbed in the thought of this land. The Sato Buddhi Kunapeti Dhatuke Sadhik Kalotra Disu Bhoma Ijjati. Bhoma Ijjati. I live for some years, and because I've got this misconception that I'm this body, I'm worshipping the land, nationalism. What is this land? Does it belong to you? No, because I've got this designation, title. I'm American, I'm Indian. Therefore, I'm honored. Just see how much illusory things are going on. I've got a false designation. On account of this designation, I'm thinking this is mine. This is illusion. Actually, it is God's. Suppose you are 25 years old. Say, before 25 years old, where is that country? That you do not know. Might be it was in China or in the hell. You have no knowledge. And now, since 25 years you are born in this land, you are absorbed in thought. This is my country. People are mad after nationalism and fighting. One nation is fighting with another. These rascals do not know that why they are fighting, the land belongs to God. You simply fight and die and go to hell, that's all. This is Krishna consciousness. So, when people become Krishna conscious, this nonsense fighting will stop. Otherwise, there is no possibility. Otherwise, it is not possible. They are trying to stop fighting by the so-called League of Nations or United Nations. They are disunited. On principle, they are disunited. So many hundreds of flags. How they can be united? They can be united in Krishna consciousness. When they will be really learned, Pandita Samadarshina, Pandita, when one is learned, just like we are Samadarshina. We don't discriminate American, Indian, African, these. We distribute Krishna consciousness to everyone. Because we know everyone is part and parcel of Krishna. Everyone is son of Krishna. They are suffering on account of this material contamination. Let us do something for them. This is one. This is Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, now we can have Kito. Please.
We're looking for people.
Master Adi Prabhu, we can't hear you.
Thank you, and I didn't realize I was muted. I was saying thank you all. Thank you to all of you for listening attentively to Sri Prabhupada. I believe everybody listened very attentively because Sri Prabhupada said so many, many important things. This is a lecture Sri Prabhupada gave in 1972 from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 3, text number 20. And of course, if we read Sri Prabhupada's pranams, we all chant Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi, Gauravani Pracharine, Nirvishesha Shunyavadi. Sri Prabhupada said, Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi, Gauravani Pracharine, Nirvishesha Shunyavadi. Sri Prabhupada said, Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi, Gauravani Pracharine, Nirvishesha Shunyavadi. Paschata Deshataride. Part of that pranati indicates that Srila Prabhupada is come into this world to dismantle impersonalism. And he lived and showed by his personal examples that that is what he came to do. And so this is one of such lectures that whenever Srila Prabhupada has the opportunity, he will highlight that because that was his main purpose of being in this material world, to dismantle impersonalism. So Srila Prabhupada says the impersonalists and the voidists, what can they hear? What can they chant? They cannot hear anything, they cannot chant anything, because to them, there is no activity of the Lord. And if even there is any activity of the Lord, that is Maya. That is to the Mayavadis and the Voidists, the impersonalists. Because they have poor fund of knowledge, and Srila Prabhupada likes to use the word rascaldom. I might not be able to use that, but I love it. Srila Prabhupada says, because these Mayavadis and Voidists are rascals, they consider all activities of the Lord to be Maya. Why? Because I cannot do this, God shouldn't be able to do it. You know, I cannot be in one place and be everywhere else at the same time. And because I cannot do it, God shouldn't be able to do it. Therefore, that is why Srila Prabhupada says they have poor fund of knowledge and they are rascals. When I'm happy, God's happy. This is the material condition. These impersonalists, they feel that when they are happy, God is happy. When they are not happy, God is unhappy. And I would like to say, Srila Prabhupada didn't say this, but I would like to say this. Sometimes when we eat prasadam or we honor prasadam and it is our favorite dish, we say, oh, Krishna really enjoyed this food. When we don't like it, we say, oh, Krishna didn't like this food. This is also very false. It's not true. It's not based on our taste. So in the same way, these Mayavadis, when they are happy, Krishna is happy. God is happy. When they are not happy, God is not happy. They think, the Mayavadis think that when Krishna dances with the gopis, that is Maya. Because in this material world, when a man and a woman dances, it's all sense gratification. And because they think that God is also dancing with the gopis, and it's just like them, that Krishna and the gopis dancing is also Maya. So whatever they think, whatever they feel, they project that to God. Again, Srila Prabhupada said here that these are because a patient is sick and food tasting is horrible, it makes this sick person to think, after the physician has told this patient that when you get over your ailment, you're going to enjoy the taste of this food. They don't believe the sick patients, they don't believe the doctor. And so these Mayavadis, they don't believe the sayings and the teachings of Krishna, that they are sick, and when they get better, they will again enjoy spiritual life. No, to them, material life is dull, and because there is nothing as action in spiritual life, no activity to the Mayavadis. And so Srila Prabhupada again says that foolish people commit suicide we should keep this in mind. Those who commit suicide, they have legitimate reasons for committing suicide. But Srila Prabhupada is saying that no matter what the reason may be, you are a fool if you commit suicide. That is, committing suicide is almost unheard of in Africa. Once in a while, somebody may do that, but it's so common in the US and in the West. But whoever commits suicide, according to Srila Prabhupada, is a fool. And he explains why such people are foolish. They are foolish because to them, they think that everything is zero. And so if I am here and I'm suffering, why should I suffer? Let me just end this life and I'll go back to zero. But we understand that there is nothing as zero. Again, Srila Prabhupada says that there are 5 races, 5 relationships that we as living entities can have in this material world as well as in the spiritual world also. Excuse me. And he mentions the 5 races. First is Shanta ras. Second is Dasya ras. Third, Sakya ras. Fourth, Vatsalya ras. And then the 5th and the last one is conjugal ras. And moving from Shanta to conjugal, the intimacy of the relationship increases. So Shanta, Srila Prabhupada was explaining, just sitting down and thinking in your own head and being sad or being happy, it's Shanta. That is the first. And then Dasya is when one starts to render some service. And then Sakya, you become friend. Vatsalya, you become like a parent. And then conjugal, you become like a spouse or very intimate relationship with an individual. So he quoted something called a Panchamukha ras, which is 5 mellows, which could both be found in the spiritual world and in the material world. So Srila Prabhupada also mentioned sweet rice. I'm sure all of us have eaten sweet rice before. It's called sweet because it's sweet. Sweet. Hold on a minute, please.
The Prabhu, you are muted again. Aribo. Shuma Sadi Prabhu, we can hear you.
Yes, I'll be back.
It was so, yeah,
I'll
it
be
took
back a
excuse.
minute, please. Yes. So the word is sorry. I am very sorry. The speaker called because, like I said, I made a mistake. I told her the time she has to be here, which is like 4 hours later. I don't know what I was drinking. but I got myself confused. So she called, and she's going to join us and just speak for a few minutes. It is a mess I committed, and I own up to that. My apologies. But we'll also be glad that she'll be here and share some few things. And then we can all together deliberate on what Sri Prabhupada shared that I was trying to go over and whatever she shares with us today. So again, my apologies, and Her Grace Nitya show should be here in a few minutes. But let me do this. Let me do this. Okay. So if I may go on with what Srila Prabhupada was saying, Srila Prabhupada said that because these Mayavadis have tasted sweet rice, but the sweet rice had grains of sand in it. And we all can imagine eating sweet rice with grains of sand in it. It doesn't taste good anymore. And because that is how they have tasted sweet rice. They tasted sweet rice. These Mayavadis and Voidis, they tasted sweet rice with grains in it. And so they don't like sweet rice anymore. But if someone tasted sweet rice without grains in it, they would love to eat it more and more. And why do they have this grains of sand in their sweet rice? Because they are coming from two different groups of Mayavadis we have in this material world. One is from Shankaracharya, and then the second one is from Lord Buddha. So both the followers of Shankaracharya and Lord Buddha, they are voidists, they are impersonalists, they don't believe in a supreme being with a form, with features, and with feelings. So it's very difficult for them to accept that the supreme force, the supreme absolute truth, has a form and has qualities. So again, he said that these two kinds of Mayavadis, from Shankara and Buddha, they cannot really appreciate the teachings of Sri Krishna. Again, Srila Prabhupada was saying that I'm looking at when our speaker comes in. Srila Prabhupada quoted Bhagavad Gita 1865, where Lord Krishna says, Man mana mad bhakto, that whatever you think, whatever you do, whatever you see, you should always think of me. Serve me. And these Mayavadis and Voidis take this statement of Sri Krishna and conclude that Krishna was not referring to himself, but he was referring to the supreme force within him. So Srila Prabhupada says that for 11 entities, Jiva Bhutas, I mean, like all of us here, there is a difference between what makes me and my body. But for Krishna, his body and he himself are the same. Krishna is not different from his body. His body is spiritual. And there is nothing inside him that is different from what we see with our own physical eyes when he appeared on earth some 5,000 years ago. But Srila Prabhupada says these Mayavadis cannot accept that. They only say that Krishna is referring to the divine being or the divinity within him. But Srila Prabhupada says Krishna is both the body and the soul together. Everything is spiritual to Krishna. His body is spiritual, and whatever is inside him is spiritual. He is the original source of both material and spiritual. So even material things are also coming from Krishna. So material, in fact, is also spiritual because its source is spirit, Krishna, the Supreme Spirit. Everything is spiritual according to Krishna's body. But for us, as living entities, everything isn't spiritual. What is inside us spiritual, this external body is material. So Prabhupada says, give an example. It's just like an electrician. An electrician can convert a heater to cool things and vice versa, to use cooler things to heat up things. We cannot do that because we are not such electrician. But Krishna is that electrician who can do that. And he does that all the time. But for you and me, not being electrician, fridge is fridge. Fridge cannot heat up anything. And then heater is heater. It cannot cool anything. Again, Srila Prabhupada gave an example of the government. The government has two institutions, departments. One is education, one is criminal, the prison. For someone who is not the government, he will be surprised. Why is the government giving good education to these students and punishing these criminals? So to those who are not the government, they see differences and they see inequalities. But to the government, there is no difference. Giving knowledge to those going to school and giving some punishment to those who are in jail. To the government, both are necessities to make the economy grow in a very happy and healthful way. So it says to the government, there is no discrimination. All living entities have little independence. No. All living entities have little independence, and it is up to the living entity to utilize their independence the way they choose. If everything were to be spiritual, then where is independence? So Srila Prabhupada is helping us understand that the reason why we have spiritual world and material world is because, in the first place, the living entities have independence. We choose what to do. We choose where to go, where not to go. And because of that, little independence, living entities decide where they want to go. Use this as you like, Srila Prabhupada says. Some of you have taken to Krishna consciousness willingly. Srila Prabhupada was referring to these American boys and girls. He says, look at you, American boys and girls. You've taken to Krishna consciousness willingly. I didn't force you, but there are so many of you walking on the street. They see the devotees, and they never take to it. And we cannot force them. So it is up to us how we want to utilize our little independence. This independence is the cause of material and spiritual. Mayavadis criticize chanting as sentimentalism. And Srila Prabhupada said, even Lord Chaitanya himself faced these Mayavadis. And he mentions Prakashananda. Prakashananda was one of the chief Mayavadis at the time of Lord Chaitanya's descent, and he criticized Lord Chaitanya for not following Vedanta, because for Vedantists, sannyasis will have to study the Vedanta Sutras, and Lord Chaitanya and his associates were just chanting on the streets. So he criticized him, and Lord Chaitanya had to debate with Prakashananda, and he was able to defeat Prakashananda. And in those days, if you are a sannyasi, you are a guru, you are an acharya, a leader with your disciples, if another individual comes to debate you and defeats you, you become their disciple. And so with this, Lord Chaitanya made Prakashananda and his 60,000 disciples all his followers because he defeated them. And Srila Prabhupada is telling us that we as ISKCON devotees are not just here chanting and dancing. We have to study. And he said that he has written so many books. We have to study, and we should not be coward. We should not be afraid. We have to study his books and defeat all these impersonalists. This is Srila Prabhupada speaking to all of us. We have to study the books and use the books to refute all impersonal voidist philosophy. Mayavadi's ear holes are compared to snakes because these Mayavadis, even though they have ear holes, but their ear holes are compared to snakes. And Srila Prabhupada gave an example of the rice paddy. If you go to places where rice is cultivated, because hold on. Because these Mayavadis ear holes are like snakes on the paddy field, they, you see, in the paddy field, there are holes because rats and mice, they come to enjoy the rice. And because they do that, the snakes come, enter into the holes, and eat up the rats and the mice. And because they do that, the Mayavadis have actually invited snakes to eat them up, and therefore they cannot really have life. I'm doing two things at the same time. Sorry. So this is what happens to these Mayavadis and Voidis. Their ears, their ear holes have now been entered in by snakes and is devouring them. And sometimes they speak, they talk. And when they talk, Srila Prabhupada likened their speeches to the croaking of the frogs. The frogs croak, and when they croak, they are inviting snakes to eat them up. Hare Krishna, Nitya Kishore Devi Ki Jai. Hare Krishna. You are muted. If you may unmute.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Dandavats
Krishna.
to
See,
all.
again, my apologies to you. And of course, I've already apologized to the devotees here, but I have to render my apologies to you because, like I was saying, I don't know what I was thinking. But when you asked, is it 4 p.m. Brazil time? I had already said yes, but it's actually 12 p.m. Brazil time. So, my apologies. We've been here for more than an hour now. So if you may share some few things, I can put the verse on the screen. Maybe you read the verse or the purport and you say something. So the
I'd like to
devotees
check
will
the
take
verse.
note.
It's okay,
Okay, yes.
but you can tell me something so I can be included in the discussion after seeing the verse. I
Okay,
prefer that you talk me something after that. So please show
okay,
the verse.
okay, I'll do that. Let me do
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
Yes, so sorry. So it is
This is the verse. Sonu
yes.
gyatva vyapasitam mahisha duhitu sputam
Oh,
tasmai guna
no,
ganadyaya
no,
dadau tulyam praharshita.
no.
Okay. Is it correct?
Sorry, I made a mistake. It's
Oh, okay.
21:22. Hold on.
Okay.
Yes.
Rishiruvacha iti avyalikam pranutobja nabas tamma babhase vachasamritena suparna pakshopari rochamana prema smito dwikshana vibramad bhru. Okay, translation. Maitreya resumed, sincerely extolled in these words, Lord Vishnu, shining very beautifully on the shoulders of Garuda, replied with words as sweet as nectar. His eyebrows moved gracefully as he looked at the sage with a smile full of affection. Beautiful. The word Vachasamritena is significant. Significant. Whenever the Lord speaks, He speaks from the transcendental world. He does not speak from the material world. Since He is transcendental, His speech is also transcendental, as is His activity. Everything is in relation to Him is transcendental. The word Amrita refers to one who does not meet with death. The words and activities of the Lord are deathless. Therefore, they are not manufactured of this material world. The sound of this material world and that of the spiritual world are completely different. The sound of the spiritual world is nectarian and eternal, whereas the sound of the material world is hectic and subject to end. The sound of the holy name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, everlasting increases the enthusiasm of the chanter. If one repeats monotonous material words, he will affect exhaust the body, chants Hare 24 hours. He will never feel exhausted. Rather, he will feel encouraged to continue chanting more and more. When the Lord replies to the sage Kardama, the word Vacha Samritena is specifically mentioned since he spoke from the transcendental world. He replied in transcendental words, and when he spoke, his eyebrows moved with great affection. When a devotee praises the glories of the Lord is very satisfied, and he bestows his transcendental benediction upon the devotee without reservation, because he is always causelessly merciful toward his devotee. Wow, beautiful. This is what I'm talking about. That's
Correct.
the real thing. That's the real thing. Om Agyanati Mirandasya Gyanam Janam Shalakaya Chakshurumilitan Dhyana Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I am so sorry for all the misunderstanding.
No, it's my fault. Please.
I'm so happy that you acknowledge that's your fault. This is your fault.
Yes. It
I'm
is mine.
joking.
Yes.
I'm joking. I'm joking. But I want to know what your guys were talking, and then I want to add some words for more, 10, 15 minutes. That's all.
Well, thank you again. My apologies. I'll have to apologize till time eternal. But we played Srila Prabhupada tape. It's a lecture Srila Prabhupada gave in 1972. But the content of that lecture is very similar, almost the same as the content of this purport we just read here. That Krishna is a supreme being. He has a form. He has activities, but these impersonalists and voidists cannot appreciate and accept that God has a form, and therefore they rule out that God has a form. And he was speaking that there is a difference between material things and spiritual things for us as Jews, but to Krishna, there is no difference between material and spiritual. To him, everything is spiritual. And so Srila Prabhupada was saying that the impersonalists, they have eaten sweet rice with sand or grains of sand in it. So they don't like the sweet rice. Their ear holes are filled with snakes, just like holes in the paddy field of rice, where snakes enter into the holes of rats and mice to eat them up. And when these Mayavadis, Buddhists, when they speak, they also are likened to frogs who croak to invite snakes to invite them, to eat them up. And so Srila Prabhupada says, these Mayavadis, when they speak, it's like they're speaking to Yamaraj that, Yamaraj, come soon, I'm ready for you. Because they're talking, excuse me to say, according to Srila Prabhupada, they're all talking nonsense. So that is what Srila Prabhupada was saying in that purport. And again, he said that the Mayavadis are very quick to criticize the devotees. And Prakashananda did the same thing with Lord Chaitanya. And Lord Chaitanya had a debate with him, and he defeated him and made Prakashananda and all his disciples his followers. So Srila Prabhupada was encouraging devotees to study the books and debate all these impersonalists, that we are devotees, we are not coward, we are not afraid to speak, even though that is not like we go out to challenge and prove to people, but we should not shy away when people are challenging our teachings. So that is basically what we were discussing. So Hare Krishna.
Okay. I'll say just few words and then
Sure.
open to the to questions and
Yeah.
answers.
Yeah.
And that will be interesting. So then we can understand what people are up to, what they are understanding about what was said. So then we can have more, interaction and connection that makes sense for people so they can understand and apply as soon as they can in
Yeah.
their lives. Well, I felt very emotional by reading this purport because Prabhupada is speaking directly about Krishna's nature, his speech, and the verses saying that Krishna looked at Maitreya with great affection because we are part of the Lord. According to Bhagavad Gita, Krishna claimed the whole living entities when he says, Mamãe Vasho Diva Loke, Diva Bhuta Sanatana or Sarva Bhutana Sanatana. Can you check? Mamãe Vasho Diva Loke, please. So in this verse, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is claiming all the living entities. He is saying, Mamãe Vasho Diva Loke. All the living entities are mine. Are mine. Comes from me, they belong to me. So, and when he looked at Maitreya, with great affection, we can understand that Krishna, look at us with great affection. And affection is what will change everything. When we are connected to Krishna, through emotions, through our minds, when our emotions and hearts and sentiments and feelings, when they go towards Krishna, that's the meaning and that's the goal of what we are doing. But before that, we have to understand Krishna with our intelligence, his activities, his forms, Madhurya Lila Guna Rupa Nanama, his qualities, Guna, Rupan, his forms, guna, and his names. So where we can find this information? Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam, as Satyananda Swami said, is not an informational book. It's a transformational. Thank you. Mamãe Vashodjiva Loke, Jiva Bhuta Sanatanana. Manas Shastani Indriyani Prakriti Stani Karshati. Incredible, amazing verse. The living entities in this conditional world are my eternal fragmental parts. Correct? Due to conditioned life, they are struggling very hard with the six senses, which include the mind. So that statement we should always take in consideration. We have to practice this statement in Smaranam, because that says what we are and where we are right now. What we are, eternal parts of Krishna. And where we are in the material world is struggling with the six senses that includes the mind. So in this way, anybody, as I always said, driving the truck, giving class, any swadharma, we are speaking about that in Brazil right now, things that I was speaking before. Now so many people are speaking about that swadharma, prescribed duty. Prescribed duty is not only for distributing books, being a monk, living in the temple and washing pots and cutting sabji. No. Sahadeva is doing prescribed duty by being a nurse. I'm doing prescribing duty by being a school manager. Everybody should be engaged according to their nature. And this is swadharma, your own nature. And then when you are engaged and you settled in the society and doing your swadharma, it comes from past lives. And then when you are doing that, you add your practice of Krishna consciousness. That's the base of the practice of Krishna consciousness is the 9 process of devotional service. So please don't become confused and enlighten others about what they have to do. If they are not monk, fine, it doesn't matter, and this is not important. There is no inferior swadharma. There is your swadharma according to guna karma. It's a very important thing that it goes everywhere, and it is inside everything. Hridayananda Maharaj is in Brazil, and before yesterday he gave a class, and he said that if he can give a concept about what's Vedic culture, he would say Vedic culture is Varnashrama dedicated to Krishna. Varnashramas, 4 Varna, 4 ashrams, okay? 4 different natures. We have to understand 4 different natures. Not every person in the Varnashram will follow the 4 principles. The 4 principles are for Brahmanas. So I'll give you an example. We don't have people working in our farms because we don't want Shudras living among us because they don't follow the principles. So most of our farms, there is no work in the land because Shudras cannot follow the 4 principles. They have to smoke some, they have to do something, and we don't allow that. So what we do for success, we hire Shudras. We hire Shudras. We hire non-devotee Shudra. But that could be a devotee Shudra. Means in India they have many. Who do you believe? Krishna. Who do you believe? Bhagavad Gita. But they don't follow the 4 principles. And this is not an encouragement for somebody not to follow the 4 principles. I am in my house and I don't have anybody watching what I'm doing here. but there is no alcohol in my house. We're not playing game, paying, broken the principles. Because this is natural from the person. And there are people in this world, so many, they don't eat meat, they don't drink alcohol, and they're not devotees. This is just their nature. So forced people won't work. What they have to do is to listen. As Srila Prabhupada said, they have to listen about Krishna for the rest of their lives. They have to feel always welcome to hear and chant. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said in Chaitanya Charitamrita that all the bad habits will be killed by listening to the Mahamantra. That's Chaitanya Charitamrita when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is talking about Shikshastakam. He's explaining Shikshastakam, and then he said that about the holy names. So we shouldn't be concerned. This is not upon to us to force anybody. That will happen in their hearts by hearing. It's a spiritual science, not by all kinds of pressure. We don't need that. This is not the way it works. So then we can expand. We have more people, and who knows what will happen. Maybe they will leave the bad habits in 10 years, maybe 20, maybe 30, maybe next life. We don't know. But they can't stop. They shouldn't be stopped to practice, to feel welcome and to do what they have to do. They should be encouraged to believe Krishna, take shelter in Krishna, and follow what they can according to their nature. Going back to the verse and meaning and purport of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada is talking about the transcendental nature of the Lord. His speech is not from this world. The way he sees things is not from the world. And you know what? Just by reading that, by listening to that, by meditating on that, we can make a lot of spiritual advancement. This is what we need. We need to hear about what is our eternal connection after this life finishes. This is for everyone. This is for devotees too. They shouldn't just become, like, okay, I'm here in my religion. Okay, folks, how much you know about Krishna? How much feelings do you have toward Krishna? What do you feel when you hear that Krishna's speech is transcendental? What's in your heart when you hear that? What do you feel when it says that Krishna look with great affection? Do you feel connected? That's what you have to meditate. And then I don't feel, okay, keep chanting, keep hearing. Keep chanting, keep hearing. This is a point that we have to always invite and make. So congratulations here for ISKCON Africa under Sahadeva Prabhu, his team, that is facilitating hearing. We should do more. Do Srimad Bhagavatam. I gave class in a Srimad Bhagavatam retreat nearby my house. There is a Hare Krishna farm. There is four temples, around where I live, but 1 hour, 15 minutes, there is Ecovilla Govardhan, Santa Isabel. This is a city in São Paulo here, and Chandramukha Swami is the leader. So they had a Bhagavatam retreat. I gave class there on Thursday, and they gathered there like 50 devotees, 50, every 6 months to hear Bhagavatam the whole day long. Prasada, programs, and Bhagavatam discussion. That's we have to do that. We have to propagate that. We have to move on, with other things, with all kinds of retreats and discussions about philosophy, so we can advance in spiritual understanding, okay. So please, questions, comments.
Well, Hare Krishna, thank you so much. Again, our apologies, particularly from myself, getting you confused about the time to speaking. Dear devotees, if anyone may have something to ask, as we heard from our scheduled speaker, and also from what we heard from Sri Prabhupada, devotees, you may ask your questions or share your reflections or realizations. Thank you all so much. But Nitra Kishore Devi, just thank you so much for coming in. Just yesterday, or today's Monday, yeah, the day before yesterday, Saturday, Gita Nagri, we had our Ratha Yatra. And it's become a ritual we do that the day after the Ratha Yatra, almost all the devotees who stayed behind, we all go to one of Hare Chakra Prabhu's daughter's house, and we have a pool party. So devotees go there to have more association. We play bhajans and we swim in the pool. So there is one of my god brother's daughter. I wanted to speak to her. Of course, I did speak to her. I eventually spoke to her. I spoke to her father and her mother. And when I spoke to her, I was just asking her a question because on that Saturday, I had seen her with few other devotees in the Rath. So I asked about them, and I was told that they're actually not like formal devotees. They are just friends of this particular devotee's daughter. And it was boys and girls. The boys had dressed with kurta, and the girls had put on saris. So you see them, they are just like devotees, yeah, especially in the US. And I was told, no, they are not. They are just friends. So I was asking the young lady, how were you able to make these people dress as devotees and attend Lord Jagannath Rath? So she was explaining to me that she didn't preach to them. She didn't do anything. All she did was just inviting them to the temple. And one of the ladies actually was an atheist. She didn't believe in God. But she did not even try to preach to her that, oh, there is God or nothing. She just by her friendship with them, these people attend Lord Jagannath Rath Yatra every year. And even when they are driving and like maybe a deer crosses them, instead of screaming anyway, anyhow, they will say, Haribol, Hare Krishna. So, I mean, I'm just saying this just to buttress your point that by our association with people in general and accepting them from wherever they are at, it is most likely that these people can become friendly to devotees and the devotional practices. And who knows when somebody is going to fully take to Krishna consciousness. But whether somebody takes to it fully or not fully, the mere fact that they have the contact and the appreciation of the Rath, the Lord, and the devotees, their devotional life has already begun. So
Exactly.
I
And
very good.
we shouldn't think that if we force them, that will be differently. We don't need to force anything. If one of them, from past lives had a call for completely diving, they would do without our interference, just to present. Here in Brazil, we had Rata Yatra, like in the end of May. One psychologist saw Rata Yatra, participated in the Rata Yatra. From the Rata Yatra, she went direct to the temple. So this is June. Now is end of July. She visited the Bhagavatam retreat, and she's going to the temple every Sunday, just by seeing the Rata Yatra. Because this is not to do with me or not to do with the temple president. This has to do with the journey of the soul. She was looking for God, and she got attracted to the process of hearing and chanting the names of Krishna. So we expose people maximum what we can. They have a lot of exposure. They are seeing the deities. They are hearing the kirtan, mantra. Mantra is very powerful. Many times we just cannot, we even don't know ourselves the power of what we are doing. So we think that we have to tell anything else. It's already very powerful and has to do a change in the heart if the person is prepared from previous life. That's also in Bhagavad Gita, and also Prabhupada said something that's very interesting in a class. Srila Prabhupada said that only piety is not for millions of births. Piety is pious activities they're not enough to bring you to Krishna, to love of God. They're not enough. But he said, without piety, nobody can approach Krishna. And then he said, how can somebody can develop prema? He said, by association with those who have prema. That's what Srila Prabhupada said. The whole process is a science, is a spiritual science. It's not by chance, it's not under our control. So if we understand better the process, how the process works inside the heart and from where it comes from, we will give people more opportunity to be exposed to the process, to the kirtan, to the deities, to the prasad, before trying to interfere in the process that's going on inside the heart that we don't know anything about it because we don't have this power. We are not demigods to understand from where this person is coming from, what is happening, So if they answer questions or otherwise, they're just accumulating pious activities, and then it can be next lives. This is what happened to us. Somebody allowed us to practice somehow in past lives Krishna consciousness. So nowadays, when we born again, we were like, my God, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to hear. This is what I want to get out of this material world. I want to understand myself and I want to come close to God. But this is a process that has been happening maybe from few lifetimes. So this understanding is fundamental for us to give opportunity for more people to come in contact with Krishna.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thanks to you for the example. The example was very appropriate.
Yeah.
It's you see like okay, but these people is doing spiritual more than pious activities.
Yeah.
They are in contact with the transcendental, powerful mantra and process. And this is what we should do for the society. This is why Srila Prabhupada founded ISKCON, for giving people opportunity. And if they are ready for something else, that will happen. And we shouldn't try to control that and think this is our how can I say, this is our
Duty.
our glory, and this is our this is our interference. How come this is interference of anybody? When I was 17 years old, 17, I started full-time book distribution. 17 years old, didn't know about much. So how come that's possible? I didn't know much. Of course, it's not from this lifetime. Okay, somebody understands, and then, okay, you understand what is you have to do, and you go and do it because you understand. What kind of understanding? 17 years old, didn't read the books yet. Yeah. But I did as I was told, Srila Prabhupada wants people to read books, and then by reading and by understanding the philosophy, I stayed in book distribution for 12 years, doing books every day, 12 hours. This is what I did. One day rest. I was 52 kilo. Very small. Very small. Yeah, devotees, I won 6 annual, because that time was per year, and so many marathons. And when they met me, they were saying, I thought you were bigger, you were very tall, and you were very strong. And I was a very skinny, small person, that time, because I was working so much, so many hours outside the temple, had one meal, and then only had another meal when I come back to the temple, because we couldn't eat outside. So it was a big breakfast, and then so many hours in the temple, and then come back, and then have prasad. Why did I do that? Not from this lifetime, for sure. So it's mystical process that are not under our control. So we shouldn't force anybody to do things. We just we just can present. We just can put them in contact, with Krishna consciousness in many ways, wherever they are.
Well, thank you so much. The good news is that generally devotees do not force, but sometimes it does happen. But it's a very good advice. Madhuvan Prabhu, please hear me on mute.
Hare Krishna, Mother. Oh, glory, so gracious of those feet. And thank you very much for being there for us today. We're happy to see you once again. Your discussion today is very interesting to me, because when we emphasize friendship, I want to believe that that friendly relationship too, we should maintain it, even with our mates, neighbors, friends, even our old friends. This is how I live my life. I try not to lose my friendly relationship with my mates and everybody. And so like this, the way my friends perceive me, they believe that I'm a disciplined somebody, because even when we're in the club, everybody's drinking, I will say I can take water or Coca-Cola or something. So everybody will be looking at me, they'll be throwing questions left, right, and center. But over the years, they just accept me like that. Accept me. And the story Isade Prabhu said about the daughter and her friends. Even ordinary life in Nigeria now, if I have to bury my mom, for instance, normally we take a dress, uniform. There'll be a dress we wear for that occasion. So people will ask you, what type of clothes, this and that. So The same thing will apply if you invite somebody for Ratha Yatra or to temple or a festival. They want to know the dress code, and once you give them, they appear like that. And then since when they invite you, you respond. Then when you invite them, of course, they will respond. There was an instance, an Anglican reverend, he became a deacon of a church. So when he took over that church, just one African church, a branch, his friends, he has very rich friends. Those friends, they rebuilt that church, they transformed that church. Everybody was shocked. Everybody was surprised. What kind of, a deacon like this one? Because it was different from the others. But because of his friends, they put in money, they were not members of the church, but they are just his friends. So it makes a lot of difference like that. So, like you said, we should maintain our association so that we can have better influence, more people. And you also explained about an ashram, that we should allow people to operate according to their own nature, and that's the system of an ashram. So I think Krishna distributed these things so that society can work concurrently. Just like a company, you have the MD, you have the secretary, then you have the gateman, and the lower staffs. So everybody work concurrently. But if everybody is the boss, then things cannot go wrong. So I appreciate those aspects that you touch and explain.
If everybody's what?
I mean, if everybody is a manager in a company, there is no gate man, there is no clerk, then the operation cannot run. You can't run a company when everybody is a boss. So, we should have different categories of people to operate a company. That's what I mean. So, Krishna gave different people different qualities so that the society can run concurrently. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. And I appreciate that you're saying that you keep your friends, because isolation isn't good for mental health. Isolation is not good. And also we get a lot of disconnected to society at certain point that we even cannot talk to anybody because we get disconnected. So before, when I joined, we thought that was very good. But with the time, we understood that we don't function, like completely disassociated. So what now Riddhananda Maharaj is in Brazil giving a lot of speeches and classes, and it was very good. He spoke about the 5 main principles of bhakti, and one of them is not to associate with non-devotees and live in a sacred place. That's Rupa Goswami, So, and then the meaning that he made for don't have friendship, he said intimate friendship. It doesn't mean that you don't talk to your neighbor because he's not a devotee.
Yeah.
Or you don't meet your brother and embrace and say, I love you, I love you, how are you doing, how is your family, and then you love your parents, and without talking. I have a very good relationship with my family. No religion we discuss, they are Christians. So I don't eat meat. We go to family gathering, and they know that. They love my daughters. We have 0 problem, and we never have had dispute or talk about vegetarianism, that they are not vegetarian. I don't care. oh, they drink alcohol. What can I do? They are adults. I can't tell them, why you drink alcohol is not good for your health. They know it. I just don't drink it. Finished. We have no discussion. So they cannot say anything about that. They just they love my daughters, they admire me, they admire my husband, and we have a good relationship. They call us, they invite us, and that's it. You know, so we have to, and if they ask or if they say, look, I'd like to be vegetarian, and then I can say so many things, but never told me. So we around us, we have my husband's family, you know, and my daughters, they have aunties, uncles, they always helped her and support, and they respected her, and they love when she sings, when she does kirtan. They love her voice. It doesn't matter if she sings Hare Krishna, they love. My brother, he's a lawyer. He says Haribo to me on the phone, my brother. And he's a Christian, you know. And so I think we should not commit the same mistakes that we committed in the past, you know, and just by lacking of proper spiritual understanding, saying that we have to go back to what we are because now we are going down. We're not going down any crazy. If we don't have more people, it's because we are not talking to them in the way they can understand what we are saying. We start our conversation, say the three modes of nature and blah, 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 because goodness, because passion, because, and people just turn off us because they just can't understand. They turn off because nowadays things change. The social media made things very quick. So if they don't catch you very quick, they turn off you. So when we do our isolation and only talk Hare Krishna, we even can't talk to people. And what you can talk, they can't understand. This is the main problem that we have nowadays. Our communication problem is a problem. I'll give an example. Me and Sahadeva, we were in Guyana, and I was translating for my fellow friend, temple president in Brazil from Nova Gokula. I was translating everything. And then devotees were so difficult to translate. But when the son of the minister, he knows him, a black guy, very nice, came to give a speech, it was very easy to translate. His vocabulary, he was presenting things was very good. And then we have to improve our communication and not say, you know what, this is Kali Yuga, nobody wants to be devoted, they just want sex and they don't meet. So because we say that and then they don't come to be a devotee. BS, lie, no. In Brazil, we have so many people, they don't drink alcohol just because they don't want. It's bad for health. They don't care alcohol. They want to go to yoga. They want to do kirtan. That's Brazilian normal people. They also don't want meat. You go to restaurants, they have dozens of vegetarian, vegan option and mocktails to people because they don't want. No alcohol, no meat, they don't want that. You know, this is not the point. The point is because they say things that we say things that they cannot understand. Why? Because we are isolated. We speak only with one community, one kind of people, only one thing, and then we get disconnected. We get like that. But if you're trending, if you're normal people, you know, and we are sincere about our situation, our position, also our problems and difficulties, and we have that's the world is open. It's open more than before, much more than the time I was doing book distribution, much more than the time I was on the streets. That people would throw the books out of the window of the buses because I would say, oh, this is reincarnation book. What? We don't believe in reincarnation, we are Christians. Out. Nobody does this nowadays. Especially in Brazil, it's crime if you do that. If you offend another religion, you go to jail in Brazil. You can't offend African religion. You can't offend African religion. You never can say anything. Oh, this is black magic. Oh, they are this. You say, what? Black magic? No, Brazilians came from Africans. If you offend African religion, you go to jail. Jail is for you. Offense. You cannot offend any religion in Brazil. Very serious, especially the African religions. Like before, Protestants, they were offending so many religions, offending Hare Krishna, saying that African religion was from the demon. Nowadays, if they say that, they go to jail. So the world changed and it's much better now. We just have to, come out from our cavern, from our crazy, small mind, and communicate Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's message. And also we speak a lot of Bhagavatam and never talk about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Kali Yuga avatar. And the way he speaks, the way he thinks, the way he sees things is much better than 5,000 years ago. It's just 500 years and is appropriate for Kali Yuga people. Okay, so that's something that's missing also. But we are in transition, but we don't do that. Even myself, I have to change. We talk Bhagavad Gita, we talk a lot of Bhagavatam. We never quote Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. What Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying about many subjects. There is a book about that, and there is also Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's books, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's speeches. We have to go back. We have a lot to do. We have a lot to do.
Well, Hare
Thank you
Krishna.
very
Thank
much,
you so
Mother.
much.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
The class is going to 2 hours. I think you're wrong. Why you called me?
Again, my apologies. I don't know what became of me.
No, don't worry. No.
Hey,
I'm just saying that,
I know. But well, it was really nice meeting you in person in Guyana. There is one statement my Guru Dev His Holiness Bhaktivinoda Swami Maharaj made, and I would like to share that because it is very pertinent to what we're discussing here today. And maybe after that, we may bring this to a close. This is from one of his writings. It says, as spiritual warriors, we have a responsibility to recognize genuine love and to act accordingly, sharing it with others. And what is genuine love? Essentially, love is a deep understanding of ourselves and others. Real love means connecting with the essence rather than with superficialities. When we love, we can appreciate a person's true nature beyond the outer shell, and we can see the reality of the individual regardless of behavior, appearances, or value systems. So this is from Spiritual Warrior 3 by His Holiness Bhaktivedanta Swami, Chapter 8, section entitled Keep the Goal in Mind. This is an excerpt. So,
do one thing for me,
yes.
please. This is exactly what is here. Send me in the WhatsApp. I'll do something for you that you like.
Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah.
I'll do that. Thank you so much.
Wow. Amazing. Amazing.
So we should try to go beyond the external, the superficialities and some people's background and things like that, and try to go deeper. Hamsadita, probably you have something to share. Please you may unmute and we'll bring this to a close. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Jai.
Madam Britannia said my condolences. All glory to the Krishna Prabhupada and more grace to one of us and devotees.
Your voice seems quite distant.
Oh, can you hear me now? I'm driving and...
Oh, okay. You're driving.
Yes.
Okay, you go ahead.
Yes, yes. I just want to say thank you so much, Mother, for being here, though the time was, there's some misunderstanding with the time,
Yeah.
but this few time you have been here, especially me, I'm listening to you very quietly, and a lot has been learned, and a lot of inspiration, especially about what we are saying about we have to be who we are and do our best, not to force ourselves for something. Thank you. Thank you so much for saying that. And at the same time, it's also related more to character, which really, really, really related very, very much to me, because it's a character which attracted me to the Krishna consciousness. And we want to get an agreement. We are heading back home. And looking back for these 2 days, I see myself so fortunate to be a devotee. The reason I'm saying this is that when my senior god brothers, my fathers, when they went to Guyana, I was saying so much things about them. And I was so proud. And when I met them, being association with them, being around them, it makes me so fortunate. And being other devotees, when they hug you, you can see so much love. You can feel that they are impacting so much energy in you to make you feel that no matter what, you are not alone. And I feel so fortunate about that. And I thank them so much for what they are putting in my life. Most of the time, I feel so much alone, but with them, I feel so complete. And I can't say so much, but I just want them to know that I appreciate them so much in my heart. And I'm so, so fortunate and happy to be in the association. And thank you so much for being here today. Hare Krishna. This is what I want to say.
Excellent, excellent. This is the effect that should be, this is the goal, to feel the love. Can you imagine we talk to people, this is bhakti, and bhakti means service to God with love, and we cannot love or understanding or feel love by each other. So what kind of bhakti, what kind of philosophy you're talking about? First is in your home. First is between us. And then on it, if you cannot feel that, and we only can feel that when we respect and appreciate each other. We can understand that that will be different understanding or different levels of following or different contributions, but it's not superior or inferior. It's what everybody can do. But now I want to add one thing. If somebody like Hansadut, I don't know what Hansadut is doing, what's his position or what, if he's not enough engaged or not giving enough that, okay, you love blah, 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 but what you are doing in practice, what you're saying, if this is not in place, it doesn't, has to come exactly from him. But whenever he is near or near by a temple or coordinator or program, these people in charge for those programs have to reach out the community and the society and invite them. or tell them, look, we have this for you to be engaged, we have that. The coordinator, temple president, leader, they should be skilled enough to engage people in a practical way, instead of saying, okay, you have to, go from your house and tell us what you can do. No, this means you fail. You're failing as a leader. You're failing as a leader. Of course, I can tell you that, we have to do that too. Yes, it's okay. But if the leaders, what they are doing is to think how to engage people, is much better, because people are passive. This is their nature, and you cannot change that. Not few of them will really stand and go forward and say, I want to do this. That's not gonna happen so often. Not gonna happen. So it's better that our leaders, they are skilled enough to understand how to engage the community. Okay? But what Hansadutta is feeling is the goal, is what we should feel, in that he appreciated, he admired, his God brothers, his God sisters, the environment. This is how somebody should feel in the association of the devotees. And this is spiritual advancement. And this will bring us to the spiritual world, step by step, life after life. Because this is what is staying in the mind. This is what's staying. The emotions staying. The intellectual understanding should be replaced by emotions. Emotions in the mind are the real connection. The mind has to be changed, because the mind will carry, to the next body. So this is all science. This has nothing to do with sentimentalism. This is all science. Okay, so I think I have to go, because otherwise I keep talking.
Well,
And also all of you have to go. They cannot go. They are still here, 15.
yeah.
We don't release them.
Yeah, because we've been here for over 2 hours. So
Yes.
we
They
truly
can,
appreciate the devotees. We thank you all for being here for this length of time. And Nitya Kishore Devi, thank you so much. And thank you for accepting my apology. I don't know what became of me to get
Your
the
apology is wasting more time. It's taking more time. Your
Yeah.
apology. is taking
Okay.
more
Thank you,
time.
Madhuma Prabhu. Thank you, Madhuma Prabhu. So, dear devotees, Madhuma, thank you. But, dear devotees, we're going to humbly request you all to kindly unmute yourselves, and we all, with one voice, one heart, chanted the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra to express our deepest appreciation to our revered speaker, Her Grace, Nitya Kishore Devi, and also to Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada, when we first heard him speak to us from his amazing lecture. Jai. Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
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 Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama
Rama,
Rama, Hare Hare. Vancha kalpatarabhyascha, kripa
Hare
sindhyayavacha, patitanam pavanabhyo vaishnavabhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. All glories to a grace Nitya Kishore Devi ki jai. All glories to Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki
Srila
jai.
Prabhupada ki
All
jai.
glories to His Holiness Hirananda Das Goswami Maharaja ki jai.
Jai.
And all glories to assembled Vaishnavi devotees ki jai. Hare Krishna devotees, we thank you all as always. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Viva.